Right. Yeah. So, yeah, the NDC's Bernard Bediako won. Congratulations to him. But kudos to the MPP as well for putting up a good fight. If you ask me, to a large extent, a clean contest. But your own observations initially, and then we'll look into other matters that came up.
Well, I think that the amount of resources we deploy for elections are phenomenal. Why? Because the political interest has become so keen for our political players.
Yeah.
But when it comes to addressing national issues, you don't find the same level of interest and deployment of resources. For instance, typical again is Galamsey. Akwete is one constituency out of the 200 and how many? 76 that we have in this country. For one election, we hear 5,000 policemen were deployed. All manner of things were done. Soldiers, everybody was there. Minister, everybody was driving there. But when it comes to fighting Galamsey, you don't see 5,000 policemen.
No.
You don't see the amount of soldiers. You don't see the ministers going in there and showing interest. For me, that is the worrying thing, because it looks like the politicians are more interested of their own persons than the national interest. And that is what worries me in this matter. But in terms of the contest, it looked like, well, it was keenly contested, and the Electoral Commission, at least this time, had space to declare who the winner was, and both political parties, or all three political parties, were happy with the results.
All right, one of the issues that came up most was the issue of vote buying. We saw young men, or even like young people, openly declare that they were waiting to be given something before they go vote. Yeah. Others also, after the declaration, I mean, you spoke to the media in the face of the camera and said that I took 10,000 from this person, but I didn't vote for him. I took so from this person and I didn't vote for him. I mean, for me, it portends a danger for us in the country. We'll get to a point where we'll deny the people of development, and when it's election time, we find something for them and they vote for us.
Well, that for me has been the trend since the Fourth Republic. Clearly, if you look at the indices of human development and all that, the people of Ghana have not really benefited much from the Fourth Republic. The people, and I keep saying this, and I hear a lot of my political friends are not happy about it, but I say that the people who seem to have benefited in the Fourth Republic are politicians.
Yeah.
So the voters have sat back and said, why are we really voting? And politicians have misconducted themselves over the years, and nobody has done anything to them. There was a time when a member of parliament had engaged in insurance fraud and all those things. Nothing happened to them. People can go out of parliament and violate the rules set by parliament, and nothing happens to them. They continue to receive their salaries. So Ghanaians are sitting down and watching all this and say, look, nobody holds anyone accountable. So although there's a clear law against vote buying and issues like that, what the hell? We'll do the same. And we'll tell the politicians in the face that if you don't give me money, I'm not voting, because when you get elected, there's nothing you do for me. I mean, marry this against the comment made by Alhaji Collins Dauda, where he says that if the people don't vote, you stop if you were the president, the development project. Such a responsible comment. Now you hear a senior politician making such a comment. What do you think the voter will also tell himself? That if the man doesn't give me money, I'm not going to vote. So I think that the way we have run this country, in the Fourth Republic especially, creates a danger for all of us. It's a looming danger for all of us. Because there's a lot of lawlessness going on in this country that is unchecked. Every day, traffic offense, all manner of things in this country. Nothing is checked.
True.
You see boys or young men who are less than 18 riding these tricycles on our roads. It's as if there are no laws in this country. Where it's supposed to be a one-way, they are going the opposite direction. Nobody stops anybody. So the lawlessness and the breakdown of it is a looming danger for all of us. Right up to the very top. Politicians are every day sitting in cars, blowing sirens and telling everybody else to give them way. I mean, what country is this?
Yeah.
So noise pollution, all that. Nobody. I mean, let's go to other developed countries. Do you see politicians driving and every day tooting horns and say everybody should give them way? I mean, everybody sits in this country and is frustrated and is angry.
Yeah.
And all we need is one small thing, and It's a ticking bomb we are sitting on. We need to be careful as a people. And I think that a lot of citizens have also given up, which is sad. Because you talk to a lot of our own colleagues, age mates, everybody just thinks that Ghana is not going to work. And when you hear citizens themselves making comments like that, it's dangerous for all of us. True. Because they have given up hope, and everybody thinks that each one for himself, God for us all. I mean, you see this all around. Young people, elderly people, everybody just makes that comment. Ghana is not going to work. And who is best positioned to give us hope other than the politicians? And this is where I think that leadership is important, and that all of us should begin to look within ourselves and say, who are the people we elect into leadership positions? Are they people who are competent? Are they people who have good character and will be consistent? Because when we don't ask ourselves those questions and we reduce it to issues of money changing hands, then it becomes worrying. But I will not blame the people at the bottom who are asking those, who are saying, give me money or I'll vote. You see,
who would you blame?
I'll blame politicians. You see, again, there are things we learn in school and in theory that sometimes we don't tend to apply. Most of us who have read will know about the Maslow's needs analysis, that pyramid. How many of us think through it? For somebody who's down, his fear is not to fall.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So he or she doesn't think about their personal safety. And that is why when you walk on the streets of Accra in the evening, you see people lying on the street and falling asleep peacefully. And they sleep better than you and I.
True.
You understand? True. Because the person has no fear. No one is coming to steal from that person.
Yeah.
No one is going to bother that person, except for maybe mosquitoes. You get it? But for those of us who have begun to acquire property, have a certain comfort in life, then we begin to worry about security.
Yeah.
We get dogs, we hire security men, we put fences around our walls. So for those people down there, whose concern primarily is when to get the next meal. Security is not a problem for them. They don't worry about security, it's secondary.
Yeah.
So when we look at that pyramid, that man who goes to the politician and says, give me 10,000 or give me a bag of rice before I vote, technically is responding to basic needs. So the responsibility for changing those dynamics rests with those up on the pyramid and not the people at the bottom. So I do not necessarily critique people down there who say, give me money. What is the behavior of those at the top? Because they influence everybody down there. They are responsible for lifting people from the bottom up so that we can all begin to think alike.
But there should be a solution to this, because I will get to a point where anyone at all, irrespective of their character or their background, with money can buy their way to the top.
But it's happening. It's happening today. I mean, a lot of people who are even engaged in criminal activities are wanting to secure themselves by going to politics, by becoming MPs or by becoming one thing or the other. That is what is happening. Let's look around. Other than that, how would somebody go into parliament and then be engaging in insurance for drugs and things like that? That's the evidence we have before us. And we need to deal with it. But we all seem to sit down unconcerned. And that is the worry. So because the way the political class deal with each other tells the people down there how we must conduct ourselves.
This issue of tying development to votes, and it's interesting you mentioned the Collins Dada comment. What would you say to those who raise the arguments that Akufo-Addo said same, and so Collins Dada saying same is okay? This politics of comparisons and what have you?
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the comparison we'll continue to make. But there's things that one criticism there doesn't make it right. Exactly. The fact that Akufo-Addo did it doesn't make it right when Collins Dada says it. And for me, those things need to be criticized across the board.
Very well. Let's look at the demands by the people for development, and this of politicians, especially parliamentary candidates, campaigning as though they are the actual development agents at the grassroots or at the base level. They go promising heaven on earth, and then they win and are unable to provide same, and that's where the, if you like, the vote buying issues will come in.
Yes, but again, there is a very critical institution in this country that's to do civic education.
The NCC.
The NCC.
Is it resourced?
Exactly the point. Why is the political class not resourcing that institution? Because if that institution is resourced to carry out its work, a lot more Ghanaians will be educated about what the responsibility of an MP is. So when an MP comes and is talking about bringing development, they'll say, my friend, that is not your job. But we have deliberately decide not to resource the NCC, and yet there are people sitting there we pay salaries to every month. We decide not to resource them. And then MPs have the run. They keep on going out there. I'll bring you roads when I may become a minister. So when I become a minister, I can go and lobby and all that. But what is the evidence in the last 30 years? And how much development have MPs been able to bring? By now, if the education had been done, MCs who sits there as responsible for development would have been held accountable. True. But we have allowed all MCs to go unchecked. They bring no development, they do nothing. It becomes an appointment to say thank you to political cronies, and nothing gets done. And then the MPs also can make promises, and then they say, oh, but the president, I went to the president, I spoke to this person, I spoke to this. Nothing has happened. And that is what the evidence before us shows. So I think that if our governments or leadership, political, are interested in development and making sure that people get their job done, they should resource the NCC. Political education is important. But the political class themselves feel threatened by the NCC. Because they know that if people become more and more aware, the MPs could be recycled in any way the people want. Because once you don't perform, you're out. And people will become more enlightened and realize that this unparalleled devotion to political parties doesn't help them.
Very well.
And that if you don't perform, they'll kick you out. And if an MC, and that is why we should go back to the point where we elect MCs without political parties' participation. So that there, the people will realize that if the MC doesn't perform, we'll kick you out.
Right.